Every 4 years, the world stops to witness the greatest spectacle in sports, a stage where legends are born, dreams are shattered, and history is made. What secrets and stories have shaped the legacy of this grand tournament? Let's dive into the captivating history of the FIFA World Cup. This is the ultimate journey through the highs and lows, triumphs and heartbreaks of the world's most beloved tournament. Back in the early 20th century, football was growing in popularity worldwide. However, there was no truly global tournament to crown the world's best team. Enter Jules Rimet, the then president of FIFA. His vision, a global competition that would bring nations together through the beautiful game. And so, the FIFA World Cup was born. In 1930, the first ever FIFA World Cup was hosted by Uruguay, a country that had recently celebrated its centenary of independence and had an impressive football pedigree, winning the gold medal in the 1924 and 1928 Olympic Games. Despite logistical challenges, with teams traveling by sea for weeks, 13 nations participated, including Argentina, Brazil, Belgium, and France. The tournament kicked off in July 1930, with matches held in the magnificent Estadio Centenario in Montevideo. In a thrilling final, Uruguay faced Argentina in front of a roaring crowd of 68,000 fans. Uruguay emerged victorious, winning 4-2 and claiming their place in history as the first ever World Cup champions. The success of the inaugural World Cup laid the foundation for future tournaments. The 1934 World Cup was hosted by Italy and was the first to feature a qualification stage. 16 teams battled it out, with Italy triumphing on home soil, defeating Czechoslovakia 2-1 in the final. Interestingly, the 1938 World Cup held in France introduced the concept of automatic qualification for the host nation and the defending champions. However, the outbreak of World War II brought a halt to the World Cup. The 1942 and 1946 tournaments were cancelled, and it wasn't until 1950 that the world would see the return of this beloved competition. Resuming in 1950, the World Cup headed to Brazil. This tournament was unique as it was the only one without a true final match. Instead, it ended in a round-robin group stage, but the final game between Brazil and Uruguay is still considered one of the most dramatic in World Cup history, known as the Maracanãzo. Uruguay shocked the host nation by winning 2-1 in front of nearly 200,000 spectators, marking their second World Cup victory. From its early days to the modern era, the World Cup has evolved in fascinating ways. Let's dive into some of the key moments that have shaped this iconic tournament. After the inaugural World Cup in 1930, the 1934 tournament in Italy introduced the qualification stage. This was a game changer. Instead of just accepting entries, FIFA required teams to earn their spot. This made the competition more intense and ensured that only the best teams made it to the finals. Italy won their first title that year, defeating Czechoslovakia 2-1 in a thrilling final. 1950 marked a significant milestone as it was the first tournament to feature British teams. This was a major moment because the British teams had previously boycotted FIFA events. And then in 1954, Switzerland introduced another significant change: televised matches. For the first time, fans could watch the games live from their homes. This brought the excitement of the World Cup to a global audience, increasing its popularity exponentially. West Germany's unexpected 3-2 victory over Hungary in the final is still one of the greatest upsets in football history. Moving forward in Sweden was another landmark event, marking the debut of a 17-year-old Pelé. His dazzling performance helped Brazil win their first World Cup, and he became the youngest player to score in a World Cup final. Brazil's 5-2 victory over Sweden in the final showcased their incredible skill and flair, setting the stage for their future dominance. As the tournament grew, so did its global reach. The next cup in 1970 was the first to be broadcast in colour, making the vibrant scenes even more spectacular. This tournament also saw the introduction of red and yellow cards, which have become a crucial part of the game, helping referees manage on-field behaviour. In 1974, the tournament in West Germany introduced the new World Cup trophy that we know today. The original Jules Rimet trophy had been awarded to Brazil permanently after their third win in 1970. The 1982 World Cup in Spain expanded the tournament to 24 teams, allowing more nations to compete on the world stage. This change provided opportunities for emerging football nations to showcase their talent. Italy won the tournament with Paolo Rossi's 6 goals, earning him the Golden Boot and the Golden Ball. The 1998 World Cup in France marked another significant expansion, increasing the number of teams to 32. This format allowed for a more diverse range of countries to participate, reflecting the growing popularity of football worldwide. France triumphed on home soil, defeating Brazil 3-0 in the final, with Zinedine Zidane scoring 2 crucial headers. These milestones and changes have not only shaped the structure of the World Cup, but have also contributed to its enduring legacy. From the introduction of qualification stages and televised matches to the expansion of the tournament and the iconic moments created by football legends, each development has added to the richness of World Cup history. Now let's dive into some of the most memorable tournaments and matches in FIFA World Cup history. These moments have defined the tournament and created legends that still inspire fans around the world. Let's start with the 1950 World Cup in Brazil. This tournament is famous for the Maracanezo, one of the most shocking upsets in football history. The final match wasn't a knockout game, but the last match of a final round-robin group. Brazil needed just a draw to win the World Cup, but Uruguay, against all odds, beat Brazil 2-1 in front of nearly 200,000 stunned fans at the Maracanã Stadium. This match left such a deep impact that it's still remembered vividly in football lore. Next up, the 1954 World Cup in Switzerland, where we witnessed the miracle of Bern. Hungary, known as the Mighty Magyars, was the favourite, having demolished West Germany 8-3 in the group stage. But in the final, West Germany pulled off an incredible comeback, winning 3-2 and claiming their first World Cup title. This match is often cited as a classic underdog story and a turning point for German football. Fast forward to the 1986 World Cup in Mexico, and we have one of the most iconic tournaments thanks to Diego Maradona. His Hand of God goal and the goal of the century against England in the quarter-finals are unforgettable moments. Maradona's genius led Argentina to victory, solidifying his place as one of the greatest footballers of all time. Moving on, the 1998 Cup in France, the host nation lifts the trophy for the first time. Zinedine Zidane was the star of the show, scoring 2 headers in the final against Brazil. France's 3-0 victory was celebrated by the entire nation, and Zidane became a national hero overnight. In more recent history, the 2010 World Cup in South Africa was memorable for several reasons. It was the first World Cup held on African soil, and it featured the famous vuvuzelas, creating a unique atmosphere. Spain won their first World Cup, defeating the Netherlands 1-0 in a dramatic final, with André Iniesta scoring the winning goal in extra time. And who can forget the 2014 World Cup in Brazil? This tournament is remembered for Germany's stunning 7-1 semi-final victory over Brazil. The final between Germany and Argentina was equally thrilling, with Mario Götze scoring the decisive goal in extra time to secure Germany's 4th World Cup title. These tournaments and matches are just a few examples of the unforgettable moments that the FIFA World Cup has given us. Each one has contributed to the rich tapestry of football history, creating memories that will last a lifetime. Historical controversies and political influences. The World Cup, like many global events, has seen its fair share of controversies and political drama. Let's dive into some of the most notable examples. Let's start with the 1934 World Cup in Italy. This tournament was heavily influenced by the political climate of the time. Italy was under Mussolini's fascist regime, and there were allegations that referees were pressured to favour the Italian team. Italy did go on to win the tournament, but the shadow of political interference has lingered over that victory. Next, we have the 1978 World Cup in Argentina. The country was under a military dictatorship, and there were widespread reports of human rights abuses. The junta used the World Cup as a propaganda tool to present a positive image to the world. Argentina's controversial 6-0 win over Peru, which helped them reach the final, raised suspicions of match fixing. Despite these controversies, Argentina won the World Cup, but the political backdrop cannot be ignored. The 1982 World Cup in Spain brought us the infamous disgrace of Gijón. In a match between West Germany and Austria, both teams played out a 1-0 result that allowed both to advance at the expense of Algeria, who had played earlier. The lack of effort from both sides was evident, leading to widespread outrage. This incident led FIFA to change the format so that the final group games are played simultaneously to prevent such occurrences. Moving to more recent times, the 2018 World Cup in Russia saw the introduction of VAR, the Video Assistant Referee. While it was brought in to reduce refereeing errors, it sparked numerous debates and controversies. Some praised the technology for increasing fairness, while others criticised it for disrupting the flow of the game and being inconsistent. These examples show how the FIFA World Cup is not just about football. It's a stage where global politics and controversies often play out. While the game continues to evolve, these historical controversies remind us that football is deeply intertwined with the world around it. Hosting the World Cup is a prestigious honour that has evolved significantly since the tournament's inception in 1930. Let's take a closer look at how this evolution has unfolded. The first World Cup was hosted by Uruguay, chosen for their strong football history and the country's centenary celebrations. Uruguay's successful hosting set the stage for future tournaments, demonstrating how a relatively small nation could deliver a world-class event. After Uruguay, the World Cup moved to Europe. Italy hosted in 1934, followed by France in 1938. These tournaments showcased Europe's passion for football and set a pattern of alternating between different continents to spread the excitement globally. The 1950 World Cup in Brazil marked a significant shift, bringing the tournament back to South America. Brazil's iconic Maracanã Stadium became a symbol of
Sugli spalti del Maracanã cominciano i festeggiamenti.
46esimo,
Schiaffino pareggia con una...
The 1962 World Cup in Chile showcased resilience, as the country hosted the tournament despite a devastating earthquake just 2 years earlier. Mexico became the first country outside of Europe and South America to host the World Cup in 1970, introducing colourful broadcasts and setting new standards for global sports events. In 1994, the World Cup went to the United States, marking a major milestone in expanding football's reach. The USA, known more for other sports, embraced football, setting attendance records that still stand today. This move significantly boosted the sport's popularity in North America. The 2002 World Cup was another groundbreaking event hosted by South Korea and Japan. This was the first time the tournament was held in Asia, reflecting FIFA's commitment to truly globalizing the game. It also featured some of the most passionate and colourful fan celebrations. The 2010 World Cup in South Africa was historic, as it was the first on African soil. South Africa's vibrant culture and spirit were on full display, and the tournament was a significant step in promoting football across the African continent. In 2014, the World Cup returned to Brazil, a nation synonymous with football. This tournament was notable for its thrilling matches and unforgettable moments, like Germany's 7-1 victory over Brazil. Showcasing yet another region's passion for football. Each of these host nations has brought something unique to the World Cup, enriching the tournament with their cultures, innovations and passionate fans. The evolution of hosting nations reflects football's journey from a regional sport to a truly global phenomenon. And there you have it, folks, the entire history of the FIFA World Cup, from its humble beginnings in 1930 to the global phenomenon it is today. We've journeyed through the iconic tournaments, unforgettable matches, legendary players and jaw-dropping goals that have made the World Cup the pinnacle of football. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through the history of the FIFA World Cup. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more exciting football content. See you next time, and until then, keep the spirit of the game alive.